Good day, everyone. So today we have like a job lot. I received this package from another computer repair shop. I don't know why. I always ask myself why. Because if you look on the channel, we have close to 300 videos, and most of the videos is about laptop repairs. But still, people they are still bringing their device for repair. It's like people they don't want to learn, especially local people. Because even if you check, most of my audience they come from outside the country, like South Africa, India, but not Zimbabwe. People here they don't want to learn. So we received this package from another computer repair shop. It's like we have two laptops, we have this and this, and we have the motherboard. They came in for repair. So we have to try to fix this. So let me put these other two laptops aside. Let's concentrate on this motherboard. So let's start by this one. All those laptop and this motherboard all came in as no power. So this is a motherboard. And I believe this is some kind of Acer motherboard. We have the Novatone, that's the E.C chip, startup chip. We have some more space, that's the BIOS chip. We have the heatsink, fan, BIOS battery, 4 gig DDR3 RAM. We do have the charging port here. So let's see. Why did they send this motherboard here? Let's see. People they don't want to learn. So I have the charging port here. This is the minus, this is the plus. The plus is coming through a diode and through those ceramic capacitors. We have first MOSFET, second in serial mode, and the current sensor. Let's check input of the first MOSFET, output of the first MOSFET, output of the second MOSFET. We have 0, 0. So this is some kind of shorted motherboard. This capacitor 0, this 0, this 0. So we have a shorted motherboard here. Let's go under microscope. Or what you can do, you can plug in the charger. You can play with the power supply. Because with power supply you can see so many things. Plug in the power supply. There's voltage drop to 2 volts and it's taking 3.2 amps. Check on the power supply. So something is taking that current. Here, we don't have thermal camera. Here, hey, we have a smoking motherboard. We have a smoking motherboard. Let's go under microscope. I never found a smoking motherboard. So what is smoking here? Something is smoking here. And I wonder what is really smoky. Here. Something is smoking here. Let me plug in the power supply. Check. You see? What is that? That's a capacitor. What do you think about this? Now the capacitor just exploded. So I'm sure that is the problem of the first motherboard. I'm sure that's the problem, because they will not pay it so much, so we don't have time to waste here. Let's check out that capacitor. This is just a capacitor connected on the main 19-volt power line. Let's take this capacitor out. So this is just a capacitor. Hopefully there's no other damage on this motherboard. This is just a capacitor. So here the track is slightly affected, but the bend is not much. So we can put capacitor here on top here. I think we can do something. I think we can do something. Can put a capacitor here. Ceramic capacitor. Where can I find one? Where can I find one? That's our new capacitor. Capacitor is in place. What I want to do, I want to check for short on this capacitor. Okay. This capacitor is coming from these 3 pins, which is source of this MOSFET. So it's not a big deal because we still have a working track. So let's see. Do you have a working motherboard? Let's see if we still have a working. Let's see. Do you have a working motherboard? Plug in. It's taking 18 milliamps. Let's check the voltages. Do you have 19? All the current sensor 19. On that capacitor which we replaced, 19. So that capacitor is connected on the main 19 volts power line. What about 3.3? We have the startup chip here, or we can check on the BIOS chip. On the BIOS chip we have nothing. On the startup chip, $3.29. You can see on the screen we do have 3.29, 3.26. So this board is ready to be powered on. Where's the switch connector? We have this touchpad connector. This is the battery. This is the keyboard. This looks like a ESA motherboard, but I'm not sure if it's the one with switch on the keyboard or this. We have two connectors which I'm not sure here. We have this connector. We have this connector for the keyboard and the other connector. Let's check. Let's check for voltage there. On the keyboard, we do have 3.29 on the keyboard. What about here? 3.28. Both connectors we have. So let's try by this one. Let's start by shorting pins. And the board is on. You can see it's now taking 180 milliamps, and we have power on light here. The board is on, but we don't have screen. So that was a capacitor, shorted capacitor on the main 19 volts power line. Now if I'm to check on the BIOS chip, we have 1.8. This is 1.8 BIOS chip. Okay. The coils are under this heat sink. Yeah, the motherboard is still on. You can see the LED here. Still on. On this coil, 1 volt. This one, 0.7. Probably is for the GPU and CPU. 1.35. This is the RAM power supply. So at this point we can agree together that we now have a working motherboard. What about the display thing? What about the display? Let me do something so that we can test the display. So unfortunately I couldn't find another LVDS cable here just to connect with the screen. Problem, I don't have another screen to test with the HDMI, but I'm sure this motherboard is still working because here we still have light here. It's off. Let's power it on again, just to have assurance. And it's on. It's taking 300, 179, and the fan is spinning, and we have lights. So yeah, I'll give it to the owner. You confirm if everything is fine. Because after all, they don't pay much, so I can't spend too much time on fixing one motherboard. Let's go on the next one. Let's go on the next one. So this one, this is an Lenovo Diagnosing 110-15 IBR. I think I've once fixed something like this few weeks ago. Few weeks ago, we had such kind of repair. We need the right adapter here. Where are my adapters? Where are my adapters? Just a moment. Now we need the adapter for this. Let's try this. That's the one. Let's see what this laptop is doing. I can see flashing light here. See the flashing light? On. And it's taking 380. But on the screen there's nothing. Pressing the power here. Is that kind of laptop with the switch on the keyboard. Pressing, it's not doing anything. And it's taking 380 milliamps. So what's really going on here? This is some kind of weird. So what is taking that 381? Is it a highly discharged battery or something is not right? So if we have light, we know that the 19 volts is present, the 3.3 is present, but for some reasons the laptop is not coming on. Maybe we have a frozen BIOS. Or something else is misbehaving. Let's see what's going on here. One more screw here. The laptop is out. No BIOS battery. Let's disconnect the main battery. I can't see the BIOS battery. Okay. Let's connect back the battery. Let's see after doing the basics. Do you have a working laptop or not? Now it's taking same amount of current on. No, we only have this light. So what can be the story? Let's check some voltages. The laptop is not coming on. 19 volts is present. 19, 3.3. Where's the startup chip? We have a BIOS chip here on pin number 3.37. That means on this keyboard we must have 3.3 volts there. Okay, let's try a trick. Because I want to short pins of the keyboard connector to ground and see if this laptop can come on. Maybe we have a faulty switch, faulty keyboard. Maybe we have a faulty keyboard. Huh? Anything? I'm sure I must have a pin. Yeah, and the laptop is on. Oh, operating system wasn't found. So it is now taking 700, 800 milliamps. The board is on. So what is the problem here? Let's power off. Let's see if the switch is responding when you try to power off the laptop. And the board is off, on. So yeah, the switch is some kind of play. We have a fault switch on the keyboard. Pin number 1, 0, pin number 2, 3, pin number 3, 0. Okay, let's see which pin is giving us the results here. I'm trying to power on with a tweezer. I can't locate the pin anymore. Let's disconnect the keyboard anyway. Let's disconnect the keyboard. On and off. I'm shorting pins one by one. And now it's not coming on anymore. So what should we do in this case? What should we do? What should we do? How we are fixing the switch button? This laptop. Let me look for a different keyboard. I can't find anything. And I don't want to waste time because they will not pay. But I just want to power it on again, just to make sure that I'll tell them to replace the keyboard. Why? You know what? I don't even want to waste time with this laptop. But from my observation, we have a fault keyboard. And you know, jobs from other technicians, they don't want to pay. They want to pay silly money. So I'll just tell him that here we have a faulty switch. You have to replace the keyboard. Let's move to the next one. Let's move to the last one. Why should that take too much time if they don't want to pay? We have this Acer, this HP. Yeah, the laptop came in like this. So HP adapter. This is the last repair of this workflow. Plug in. It's taking 2.1 amps and this voltage drop to 2.7 amps. We have a shorted motherboard. Let's check. We have some capacitors here. Ceramic capacitors connected on the 19 volts power line. 0. Here we have another capacitor. Maybe this is not connected. Here we have another one. 0. 0. So this is a shorted motherboard. This is a shorted motherboard. Oh, check here. It's a blown up motherboard. Let's go on a microscope. Maybe it's good to see. 2.7 the kind of damage we have here. On the input section, this is a MOSFET and it's gone. Huh? Those are the jobs which we have today. Then the input section, and we have the charging port here, which is coming through those, whatever it is, those items, inductors, they are blown up. This MOSFET, okay. Oh, why? What people they are doing with the devices outside there? Huh? Yeah, the MOSFET is gone. The bigger one is gone. Okay. This can be a waste of time, don't you think so? The EC chip looks fine. But I want to check those capacitors around the EC chip. So the 3.3 volts power supply seems to be fine. We have more power supply. We are just inspecting the motherboard, because I don't understand why that MOSFET is blown up. Some kind of high current or high voltages. Check what is here. Those capacitors, they are blown up. Huh? What happened to this motherboard? Check those capacitors. Huh? You see those capacitors? They are gone. So let's start to do the jobs. Let's start to do the job. Huh? Maybe we can start by cleaning. We have so many blown up components here. But this is the input section, I don't mind. We can jump with a wire here. Why should I worry about the input section? The MOSFET can't come out. Huh? So what I want this motherboard, but these tracks, they are still better. Let's check out those inductors in parallel mode. What else? Let's check out this. We have another ceramic capacitor here. Let's try to look for. Let me look for another motherboard. Let me look for another motherboard for space. Let's try. Let's try. Maybe you can rebuild those tracks a little bit. Maybe. Let's try to do some tricks here. The MOSFET and those two inductors. Let's see now. Let's see now. Hopefully this is not a waste of time. Where are my inductors? Okay. Come on. Stay here. So now we need to test. I don't know what really happened to this motherboard. Let's test this bigger MOSFET. Drain to source. Source to gate, it's not shorted. Okay. The other MOSFET is good. Current sensor to ground is good. Let's go to those ceramic capacitors. You remember those capacitors? Here. I'm sure here those are the culprits. Let's take down all these capacitors. Let's take down those capacitors. Let's take down those capacitors. All the capacitors are out. Let's go and check for short on the current sensor. Ground. Current sensor is not shorted. It's not like beeping like this. So those capacitors we're shorting the main 19 volts power line to ground. So need replacement of those capacitors. I don't really know what happened to this motherboard. I don't understand what really transpired here. Now, the capacitors looks fine. We saw that our ceramic capacitors, so even capacitors, they are failing. This is the common fault on laptop motherboards. Ceramic capacitors, they are getting shorted so easily. So easily. It's not shorted. Let's recheck here. Just to clean here. I think I've done my part on this motherboard. I think I've done my part. I think I've done my part. So it is that moment to test to see what do we have. Well, let's see what we have here. Do we now have a working motherboard? Now, plug in the power supply. And we don't have light. I think this is a challenge. Let's see. Let's check the voltages. What voltage do we have? It's not taking any current. 47, 50. and you don't have light. We have 3 volts. Huh? Here we have 19. 0. 3.9 volts on the main 19 volts power line. Why? Hmm? Do you have a shorted power line? Let's lower the voltage. I thought we are done. I thought we are done. So why the first MOSFET is not driving power? Maybe the second MOSFET is gone. Maybe. How can you trust the second MOSFET? Huh? How can you trust the other MOSFET? How can you trust the other MOSFET? I want to take the second MOSFET and we check again. This MOSFET is out. Where is my thermal pad? Where is my thermal pad? Thermal pad. What I've took down the second MOSFET. I want to see without the second MOSFET if the first MOSFET is outputting anything. That's what I want to see. Yeah, the motherboard is too hot. Let's see. Let's see where our 19 volts ends. Charging port. Volts. 19. No. Maybe our MOSFET is not right. It's not the second MOSFET. It is the MOSFET that we put. Something is not right there. Something is not right there. Let's redo the job again. Let's redo this job again. It seems as if we did nothing. Why this MOSFET is not outputting 19 volts? Huh? Why? I need a tweezer. Why this MOSFET is not outputting 19 volts? Huh? Why the MOSFET is not outputting 19 volts? Wait. Where this pin is going? Is it not that there's no connection between that blown up capacitor and the gate? I think here we have a problem. Here. I think we have a problem there. I think we have, because there we must have a capacitor which is pulling down the trigger, which is the gate of the MOSFET. Or our MOSFET is misbehaving. There are two options here. Good. So now, do you think we have output on the first MOSFET? But let's just change. Let's just change this MOSFET. Let's just change the MOSFET. I'll start by putting back the second MOSFET. But what I think was the problem, where that pin is going, now let's see. Let's see now. Let's see now. Let's see now. Let's see again. Let's see again with different MOSFETs. Plug in the power supply. It's checking 2 milliamps, 12, 22, 30. And we don't have light. If we don't have light, that means we did almost nothing. That's what it means. Output of the first MOSFET, 0. Input, 19. You know what? This motherboard want to play with me. So I will be left with no option. I wanted to do this job a proper way. I don't need to spend too much time on the input section. I don't need to spend too much time here, especially on the input most section. Let's take down this MOSFET. We don't need it anymore. Or what was here? There is a missing component here. 1 second. That was a cap. There is a missing component there. Where is that motherboard? What was there? That was a capacitor. We have a very small capacitor missing here. Maybe it's the one which was pulling down the trigger. But that pin is coming from the gate of the MOSFET. I think I get it. That's a very small capacitor. Yeah, that is the kind of job that we have today. If that is not going to work, I'll just check out the MOSFET and short everything. If that is not going to work, that's what I'm going to do. The board is 2 watts. I don't need anything. I want to see if the MOSFET is passing the 19 volts. Then we start from there. No, it's not working. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my MOSFET. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I've been so patient with you, but my patience has run out. So I'll remove you completely from this motherboard forever. Good. Now, because the main 19 volts power line is not shorted, now, good. Now in that way, we have forced the 19 volts on the other side of the MOSFET. Because these MOSFETs, let's see now. This motherboard want to play with me. And my question is why? Why this is happening? My question is why? Plug in the power supply. And we have light. You see, we spend so much time trying to find out why the first MOSFET is not passing the 19 volts. Maybe something's wrong on the BQ chip, or maybe it won't charge. I don't know. But let's try to power on. First pin. No, second pin. Second pin to ground. It's on. Coming on and goes off. Because we reset the BIOS. Off. Let's just wait. Since the board is on, but I can't see any picture yet. Do you have RAM there? The RAM is there. So what's the story? Why we don't have picture again? Second pin to ground. The motherboard is on. It is picture, but we don't have backlight. Oh, this motherboard. Huh? I can see some writing there, but we don't have backlights. Huh? Why? Why we don't have backlight? $3.3. $18. So why we don't have picture? It is picture, but we don't have light. Why? Oh, yeah. We don't have light here. So I'm not sure what is missing on this side of the screen. But something is missing. Something is missing here. I'm checking for the test points here. You remember those signals for 3.3 and for 19. This is a tough repair. Endless faults. We have 0. $2.3 or this test point 0. Okay, let's do some trick. Let's come with 3.3 with the other power supply. Let's come with 3.3 with the other power supply. I want to see the reaction of this screen. Low current, 3 volts. Was here on this signal is missing 3.3 here. LG enable. Check here. I release. We don't have light. I told you about those signals. I think I explained this many times how the screen is working. We have the test point here for PWM. Here we have 2.3 volts, but this one for LED enable we have 0. If I come with the power supply, which is not on this screen with 3 volts, we have light. You see, boot device not found. If I release, no backlight. Plug in the power 3.3, we do have light. Releasing, no light. I'm coming here. We have the test points on the screen side. Let enable. So here clearly, this 3.3 volts is missing from this signal. So let's fix this. Let's fix this. Let's check out the screen. Let's check out the screen. So this motherboard died. Like I have voltage, high current, and I don't understand why we have multiple faults on this motherboard. This is the reason why they send it here. Or something else. Let's fix the screen light issue. But before we fix this, I think we can confirm maybe the LVDS connector wasn't inserted properly. So I need to power on once this motherboard just to have assurance that the signal is missing. Pin number 2 to ground. Motherboard is on. It is on. On and off. More current. On. Now it's on. 378. Still we don't have light. We don't have light. So now we have to understand where's the 3.3 volts fuse. Three 3.3. So the 3.3 volts is here. So yeah, what you do, will you give up? What you do in this case? Just tell the truth. What you do? what you do, I need to run a wire from 3.3 to those test points. And after that, we can test this screen. Microscope. Microscope. We have that fuse. Which is connected on the 19 volts. So maybe you can check for those signal, but that signal is coming, like what I said, is coming from the startup chip. So if you want to trace it, maybe you end up replacing the startup chip. That is if you want to do it that way. So we are going where? We are going on the other side of the screen. So we are going where? We are going here. I'll show you where we are going with this wire. Lead enable on this test point. That's where we are going. That's where we are going with this wire. Yeah. Exactly here. Good. Now, where's the other test point? PW for power. The other test point is here. That is the other test point here. So exactly here. That's it. That's all what you need to do. That's all what you need to do. And on the other side, I'm putting just hot glue to insulate the wires. Fine. So let's see. Let's see if we manage to bring the backlights here. Let's see. Let's see. Now, power supply. And do you think we have a working motherboard now? Shorting pin number 2 to ground. And the motherboard is on. And we have a picture. We have light. So that's how we fix backlights. Boot device not found because there is no hard drive. I can see on the OBS is more than 1 hour. You're having some rubbish kind of job load. Fixing some laptops. Yeah, the job is done. We now have light, we now have a working motherboard. So what I will say, like, subscribe, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. I'll hand over this to the technician who bring those items for repair here. I'm sure he must be in a position to assemble everything together, because some of the pieces they didn't come here. Plus, I can't do that because after out of all they won't pay. So see you on the next one. Bye.